Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video, well, this video feels a bit more different. It feels more unfortunate because thinking about it, this very well could be my very last video ever talking about the Bad Batch or the Clone Wars. I think just that entire era of a galaxy far away. Reason for that, of course, the Bad Batch has now concluded with its third and final season a couple of months back. I think it was in April or May now of this year. And so in this video, we are going to be taking a look at the Bad Batch cast and crew members, looking back at the series as a whole, the series finale. Of course, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hop right on into it right now, breaking it all down for you guys, everything that we know and everything that we could be anticipating for the near future. But before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be taking a quick read from one of my favorites out there, StarWarsNewsNet.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. As they read with their initial title, the Bad Batch cast and crew members have taken a look back at the series finale. With the Bad Batch series finale in the rear view mirror now, actors D. Bradley Baker and Michelle Ang and the creators Jennifer Corbett and Brad Rowe had all sat down to take some time and discuss the finale of the series in general in the spoiler kind of fashion, especially now considering that the Bad Batch has wrapped up, as I had mentioned, a couple of months back now. I want to say April or May of this year now. So let's start here. D. Bradley Baker, the voice behind the Clone Troopers, and not just the Bad Batch, but also in Star Wars Rebels and of course Star Wars, the Clone Wars animated shows, had recently taken to talk a bit about his experience working with so many other talented actors on this show, particularly taking praise to Michelle Ang, who is the voice actress behind Omega, saying all of it in quotes, "It's really been wonderful watching Michelle Ang bring Omega to life. Ultimately, Omega powers the story. She is the moral compass, the center, and the push that moves the story forward and even navigates it, and Michelle has done such a beautiful job with that. It's really quite unique of an experience to be involved with a show that's so fun. It's really an adventure, but it also is about things that are important and things that resonate with people deeply in the real world at the same time. It's a great, interesting story with really interesting characters. Sometimes with a team or a group of friends or even with the family, things have to be worked out. Ultimately, you end up still together and still on the same mission, but you've learned something along the way." Ending that quote right there. Michelle Ang completely agree with her co-star, feeling that the show was at its best when these different personalities had really clashed together with one another, and that even though they're all different, Omega never doubted that her brothers were coming for her, especially in that third and final season, saying that they're in quote, "That's what I really love about Hunter and Crosshair. Just watching these two opposing personalities have to sort of face each other off, find a commonality, and put aside some of their perceptions. It's really cool that these two characters are able, in season 3 of the show, to address the fact that they are having different viewpoints and that they both have felt wronged by the other in some circumstances, but then they're able to build on that and move past it for their greater sort of connection and family. And that is what I love about Omega, is how she facilitates that in her own way. I feel very lucky not only to have a talented co-star, but also I feel like casting got to the right point. D. Bradley Baker and I both share the idea of morality being important to each other and with our individual characters, to the series, and also to us humans in the real world. That is really kind of the heart of both of the series and of us as people. I think a key Omega trait is her certainty. She just knows, and I think that the special bond that she has with Clone Force 99 as well, they don't really leave anyone behind ever. Ending that quote right there. Having quite a bit of praise, just a lot to kind of say here and really reflect on this project of what it was like to work with the Bad Batch. They kind of also bring up this idea of the morality, like these characters are also kind of just normal humans like us at the same time at the end of the day, or at the very least that they feel those same human emotions. You do have to remember that the Bad Batch do have some of those genetic modifications that make them stronger, that could make them smarter, of course, but at the end of the day, the main point is that they're they have those human traits, they have feelings at the end of the day. How they navigate that, how they feel that is something all entirely new in a weird way. I don't really feel like, especially with clones, is something that we normally would feel all that much. That's kind of the point of the Clone Wars animated show, is humanizing clone troopers and also filling in the gaps of what had happened between the events of the prequels, of course. I think that the Bad Batch takes that kind of a twist, though, however, of humanizing your clones and giving them those human traits, making you care for them, and not just kind of filling in the gaps between the story. It takes that and it puts it on 10, and it does a remarkable job with that. I'd also like to quickly mention, I think it's something to discuss in an entirely another video here on the channel in more depth and in more detail, but is the Bad Batch really done? Okay, I think that the animation portion of the Bad Batch show itself is done. It's come to a conclusion. Not just a conclusion, but a satisfying conclusion, I think, at that. So, with that kind of in mind, I think that they are able to step away from the Star Wars animation realm of things with the Bad Batch. Not step away from Star Wars animation as a whole, though, however. I think that there's plenty of other animated stories to still tell out there in a galaxy far, far away. Most recently, Tales of the Empire. Just take that, put it on 10. There's so many different iterations of that alone that they could do, and so many other animated projects that they're able to do, and that are even in talks possibly. I think not if, but when we see the Bad Batch return, it'll be in live action, and it will be somewhere down the road a part of the Mandoverse. That's all I kind of really feel right now, and that's really all I'll say for right now. So moving forward, kind of finishing out here, there is so much details, a lot of other questions that are brought up, a lot of other reflections, and even reveals that are brought up in the entirety of this reveal, much rather interview and article, of which, as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, is linked in the description down below. But let's hear what the producer Brad Rowe and the writer Jennifer Corbett had said to say whether or not they think we'll see the Bad Batch again. Kind of piggybacking off of what I just said here, I think we will see them, just not in animation. As Jennifer Corbett says in answers to that question, I don't know. I think there's always room for more stories and various versions. We're just so attached to them. They're our family, so it's hard to say goodbye, but I'm very proud of what the team has done. Brad Rowe, the producer, piggybacks off of that by saying, yeah, I agree. I mean, we love these characters so much. It's been so fun working on the show, and I feel like in all of the millions of discussions, Jen, that you and I have had on the show, that we're really happy with how we did to end this chapter. Knowing when we went into the season that this would be the final season, as we'd always kind of planned, it was really satisfying to tell the story the way we wanted, and the way we wanted to end this chapter with these characters. Ending that quote right there. Just a complete vision of it, kind of start from finish, the way they could kind of conceived this whole idea of it being not a limited series, but just where it would be planned to come to its end. They wouldn't want it to run on forever and ever, even though they could, and I think that's something that a lot of fans would like, but hey, they could still tell those stories within other mediums, comic books and novels. Anyway, guys, this here all being said, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.